The Giant That Vanished. An-225 Mriya. The world's largest aircraft ever built now lies in pieces, and the truth of its final hours is darker than you think. You are looking at a machine so massive, an entire Boeing 737 could fit inside its belly. Yet that isn't the strangest part. It was never meant to carry cargo at all. Its real, secret purpose was something almost no one alive remembers today. 250 tons lifted like a feather, 32 wheels, 6 roaring engines. But one hidden flaw would seal its doom. Stay with me, because what happened in that hangar in February will leave you cold, and the ending nobody saw coming. The Giant in the Skies. Antonov An-225 Mriya. Look up. The largest airliner ever built once ruled these skies, and today it exists no more. You are staring at the Antonov An-225 Mriya, the heaviest cargo aircraft humanity ever created. It could lift up to 250 tons of cargo into the air like it was nothing. People across the entire planet followed this machine, drawn in by its impossible size and its one-of-a-kind design. Its wingspan stretched 290 feet, longer than the Statue of Liberty is tall from base to torch. From nose to tail, it measured 275 feet, a body longer than most buildings you have ever entered. Empty, it still weighed 285 tons. And yet somehow this giant flew. But to understand what the world lost, you have to go back to where it began. Here is the twist you did not expect. This machine was never meant to carry cargo at all. The Mriya was born for space. Its first mission was hauling the Soviet Buran shuttle across the sky. It would carry that spacecraft on its back from the landing site to the Baikonur launch complex in Kazakhstan. Ukraine's Antonov Design Bureau shaped every line of it, and on December 21, 1988, it first left the ground. Then the space program ended, and this giant lost its only purpose overnight. But losing space gave the Mriya a second life, and it began lifting things thought impossible to move by air. Picture 130-ton generators floating above the clouds, carried effortlessly inside a single aircraft. Diesel locomotives, entire wind turbine blades, machinery that crushed roads on land, now glided through the air. It became a flying crane on a planetary scale, the true workhorse of the Antonov fleet. But how do you even build a machine that lifts such weight? Walk with me from nose to tail. Start with the fuselage, the enormous body that gave this aircraft its unforgettable, unmistakable silhouette. Notice the cockpit, set high above the main cargo bay so nothing would steal precious loading space. You could not simply walk in. You had to climb a ladder, because the entire main deck belonged to cargo. 6 crew ran this beast: a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, radio operator, and 2 dedicated flight engineers. Now look down at the very thing this whole giant stands and rolls upon. Beneath it sat 32 wheels, an army of tires spreading the crushing weight across the ground. The twin nose units could actually kneel, dipping low to make loading heavy cargo far easier. The main gear held 28 wheels, 7 pairs per side, and 4 of them could steer. On a runway just 60 meters wide, this enormous aircraft could turn completely around. To feed a machine this size, it needed fuel, and the amount will genuinely surprise you. The tanks lived inside the wings, 18 of them, holding a staggering 365 tons of fuel. That fuel gave it 18 hours in the air and a reach beyond 15,000 kilometers. Cruising, it burned nearly 16 tons every single hour, yet stayed aloft with ease. Even fully loaded, it could fly for around 2 hours without ever needing a drop more. All that fuel served one goal: moving cargo, and the hold inside is the size of a hangar. The entire nose swings open, a giant door letting the largest loads slide straight inside. The cargo compartment ran 43 meters long, 6.4 wide, and 4.4 meters tall. Because that space was pressurized, it could safely carry almost any type of cargo you imagine. Fit 16 standard containers inside, or roughly 80 passenger cars, or even full-sized heavy trucks. Here is the comparison that stuns everyone. An entire Boeing 737 could fit within that interior. The upper deck held the cockpit, a crew rest cabin, and space for accompanying personnel. The lower deck was the cargo world itself, with doors at both the nose and the tail. But how do you load something weighing as much as several tanks? Here begins the real spectacle. First, the nose gear retracts, and the front of the entire aircraft slowly kneels toward the ground. To hold it steady, crews add extra support struts beneath the lowered frame. The 175-ton nose gear lifts fully, hanging slightly in the air. Now the whole giant rests only on those struts, balanced and waiting. A tongue-like loading ramp unfurls, reaching out to meet the cargo below. Then, section by section, a track system is assembled across the ramp and floor. Onto that track they fit skids, built to maximize friction between the cargo and the rails. The massive load settles onto bright orange skids, guided into place by mobile cranes. Steel rope links the cargo to two powerful winches, and the slow pull begins. Centimeter by centimeter, the load creeps into the aircraft, tension holding your breath. Two crew watch the spools, making sure every strand of cable winds perfectly even. Once the cargo reaches its spot, the track is dismantled and the nose door seals shut. But moving all this weight into the sky demands power almost beyond comprehension. That is why the Mriya carried not 2, not 4, but 6 enormous engines. Inside the hold sat a built-in crane, able to shift a 33-ton load on its own. 6 Ivchenko Progress D18T turbofans powered this giant, each a 3-shaft machine of raw force. Every single engine pushed out 229.5 kilonewtons of thrust. And the records? This aircraft shattered them. Heaviest plane ever, largest wingspan in active service. It set 214 national records, plus 124 international ones. Its greatest feat, lifting a single payload of 279 tons into the sky. At the peak of its fame, in February 2022, the Mriya set off on one more flight. That flight would become its last. The mission ran from February 2nd through 5th, carrying 90 tons of COVID test kits. It gathered them in Tianjin, China, bound for delivery all the way to Billund in Denmark. Then it returned home, to a hangar in Hostomel, Ukraine, to rest between missions. But during those days, war erupted, and the airfield fell under attack by Russian troops. In the fighting for Antonov Airport, the impossible happened. the world's largest aircraft, was lost. The wreckage of the Mriya still lies inside the very hangar where it was struck down. Yet even broken, this legend was not the end of the story. In May 2022, Ukraine's president vowed to rebuild the plane from the ground up. He promised it would stand as a tribute to every Ukrainian pilot lost during the war. And here lies the quiet meaning behind it all. The word Mriya translates simply as dream. A giant that once conquered the world with its span, now a symbol of a dream unbroken. If this journey moved you, hit subscribe and the bell, and follow the legend's rebirth with me. For more stories like this, check out Learn from the Base across social media. And I will see you next time.